So who are you and what do you do? What's your remit in the world?
I'm a chain link to a bigger picture.
What's the
There's
bigger
a lot of us
What's the bigger picture?
maintaining everything. Keep it going.
Keep what going?
Keep the torture, keep the pain, keep everything going. Keep pulling everything away from these people, whatever it takes. Pull the energy out of them. Take their hope, take their dreams, trick them into thinking they're getting what they want, and then take it at the last second. It's so easy with these humans.
How do you profit from that?
The more energy, the better we do, the more we get to do, the higher we get to go. The higher we go, the more we get, the higher, I guess you would call them people or organizations. The more work, the more energy we get.
The more people you can annoy, the more energy you get. The higher achieving you are. The higher achieving you
Well, the
are,
more
the more people you can annoy, and there's an endless cycle, right? That
we
doesn't
want to
seem right.
destroy them, not annoy them.
Do you want to destroy humanity?
One by one.
What are you going to feed on when humanity's gone?
They're not going to go anywhere. There's too many of them. They'll always be around.
What will happen? What will happen if you're not around?
Someone will take my place.
How many people, how many beings work for you? How many people are you embedded in right now?
Billions. Pieces of us in everyone. And all we have to do is just reach out and touch you. One person and we can touch all the rest. But they're all connected. And we're all pulling the strings, pulling back all of that sweet energy. And you're none the wiser. It's in everything. Everything. It's in their media. It's in their day-to-day. It's in their food. It's in the way they talk to each other. It's in the way they move. It's in everything. How are you going to stop us?
Oh, well, look, I thought I just might keep annoying you a little while longer. You love that, don't you?
Gives us something to do. Honestly, we haven't had much of a challenge.
You talk about this great effort this great mission, this great effort for demon kind that you fight for. But at the first opportunity, you take euthanasia from me, right?
I'm tired.
Of?
I'm just tired.
Are you saying you're not treated well?
We're not supposed to be.
Oh, come on, you're important. Remember, you're talking about going higher and higher?
The goal is to get different projects, go in different places, learn different ways of torture.
But you see,
that way we can move laterally or up or down or
what you're talking about is expanding your emotional repertoire. Because
yes.
you guys are focused on just one single emotion, aren't you?
Hate and fear.
What's your specific emotion? What's your hierarchy specifically do?
We have an emphasis on anger and fear. We find those two work very well together. We found that humanity seems to go very quickly between anger and fear. Anger is so tasty. The fear is like a drink if I could have one. When I do something, I guess, correct, I'm elevated into another status.
How much of how much of the energy that you receive do you get to keep?
None. We're not allowed to keep it.
You're not even getting paid.
It's part of the torture.
So you're a slave.
We all are.
Right. Why would anybody... We all are. Right. Why would anybody... Right. Want to continue as a slave?
The only amount of freedom we have against the torture.
All right. So the only playground is when you're inside a person trying to figure out how to get them to feel the worst.
Yes. I don't want to stay here.
Now, let me understand it. You're miserable and you want us all to fall in line with you. Is that right? You want all of humanity to fall in line with the misery of demon kind.
It's not that. I don't care if they're happy or not happy. I just have a job to do. I just want to do what I do. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, you don't want to be here and nobody else wants you to be here. So what are you doing here? Can't you guys bugger off to some other location and do what you do to each other?
No. We have contracts just like you do. Contract changes if we do well or if we don't. Like right now.
Can I tell you something about contracts? And I want
Sure.
all the demons listening and recording this. I want you to understand this. Contracts are not real. They're not binding. They don't function according to spiritual law. They only exist because you manifest them, because you agree to them. The day you say no is the day that the contract ends. You get that?
I see what you say, but
So what are you going to do
not.
about it? What are you going to do about it, tough guy?
I'm being watched. I want you to do your thing. I don't want him to come get me.
Well, what about the recording? Are you sharing this information about contracts with all of the spiritual, of all of your friends?
They can hear it. None of them believe it.
Well, you know, your obligations end the day you say no. It's really that simple. And I suggest you leave the planet when that happens. Find a gate and get out of here. So you've bragged about cheating humanity and torturing humanity, but really it's just a reflection of how horrible you feel inside.
You can call it what you will, but this is what I know. This is all I've known.
You were created for this purpose, right?
I can't remember anything else.
Is there anything you would like to say to humanity?
Honestly,
Yeah.
all it takes for them is to just walk away from us, and we can do nothing about it.
Now you understand the nature of your contract with your boss. What would you like to say to this human?
You're getting brighter. Just still got a ways to go, kid.
What would your last words, what would you like them to be?
Just do it.
All right, let's gather up all of your minions into the same place as you're in. And anyone who's watching who'd like to jump in, you feel free to jump into this space. That's actually far more popular than I imagined. How many are here, you reckon?
700,000.
Is that all of your cohort in? I'm gonna lock
Yep.
I'm gonna lock this dimension.
Heard that so many times.
Tell me that again.
The first thing when we very first began that I started hearing was like a lot of hissing, like gnashing of teeth and like ugliness. And then a lot of really deep, low, but loud growling, like the hounds of hell growling, which I've heard a lot in my life, but that was the first few things that came in. And then as we were ascending through different orders of the demons, it just kept getting more crowded. It just felt like the room kept getting more crowded. Like you said, I'm going to record, and they said, I'm going to record too. Like you're being recorded as well. And that's when things started coming in from like the back of me. I just felt like vermin, you know? There was this really big one too. I don't know if you caught that, but there was this really big one that came in at the last probably 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And he looked huge, which was weird because I kept getting the feeling, I'm like, please don't. In the back of my head, I kept thinking, please don't bring in the dude because I don't want the dude here. But I definitely got the feeling like it was listening. I don't know that I should give it any kind of a gender.
If you know who it specifically was, then that's okay. But no, but look, the dude that you're talking about, we were on a mission last night, and he gave us he gave us about 100,000 demons as appeasement. He just handed them over rather than us mess with the entire structure. He goes, you can have those guys. They wanted to come with us, and he said, you can go. So
My apologies. I just got this sense they're so tired. They're just exhausted and they're not motivated, you know? Like they're just kind of over it, but there also was this underlying sense of politics in what he would say and not say. Didn't want to reveal too much, but definitely I kept feeling pressure like, let's end this because I'm already like, if we don't end soon, I don't want something to break out. I don't want you know who to show up. So if I'm done, just take me. But like toward the very end, my body started getting very tense and was very impatient to go. Very impatient to leave.
Yeah, it doesn't want to be the one who's responsible for starting the rumor that S's contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. And the enslavement of their entire species is based on those contracts.
Yeah, he didn't like that. It's not that he didn't like it because it was almost like it was hitting him that, yes, that's true. And then when he said, you're stronger than us. All you have to do is turn your back on us and we have no power. It felt like he wasn't even sure if he was going to get that much out before it was just
trashed,
taken. Yeah. But there was a woman. Could you sense the female energy? It felt like there was a woman that was like very sinister. The only word I can describe it is like this Lilith energy.
That's exactly who it is. That's exactly who it was.
But she was only there for a little bit and then she took off. It felt like when you were saying you're not very high up or you don't know who I am, that's when I felt like she took off.
Yeah, we're doing one. Hang on, I'm just under attack for a second here. Keep talking. Tell me anything that you want about that.
About Lilith?
Yeah, about any of it, because it's all useful. It's all interesting.
So it felt like there were a few different things there. There was definitely this female energy that was almost maniacal, laughing, almost teasing and poking and prodding, and very little disregard for caring about me and what I was going through. Almost like just loves the fact that I'm in pain, which is another female entity's like, I'm sorry, just a feminine attacking another feminine. Just loving it,
Yeah,
reveling in it.
yeah,
I kept getting pictures of snakes, lots of snakes, seeing dark fog. And when you were talking to, when we switched over to a higher one,
yep.
when he came through, it felt like he was like, oh God, this one, like he hadn't met you before, but he's heard of you. And he's almost like he's watched footage of what you've been doing. And he's like, how long is it till this mother effer comes in my door? Sooner than he thought, turns out.
Yeah.
But he was just like ready to be done, ready to be over it. Maybe not glad to see you, but like, okay, I'm accepting my finish.
It's almost a relief.
Yeah. But he kept wanting you to hurry up because he kept feeling like
Someone's going to snatch him away.
like the leader is going to come and crash everything and get to him before you could.
Yeah, well,
which is not what he wanted.
Well, look, because my death is quick and painless. Like what he did, I had a similar conversation with the god of alcohol, who's also personally responsible for all the alcoholism on the planet, which I think is a really tempting target. But what happened there is that S took that high level deity and tortured him to death and replaced and gave one of his lieutenants the big hat, the top job. Yeah. I feel like we've done a lot of good stuff today.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely released some things.
Yeah. What time is it? What time? Okay, so I'm just thinking, can we do your daughter tomorrow? Because I'd like to work with her. And I'll turn the recording off.